Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I want to hear you. I want to hear you. All right. Sorry. Do something. All right. Come on, everybody. We coming in. Give you some time to come on in. All right. Do this real quick. Tuning in tonight. We're going to have a hot topic tonight, and we're hoping that everything goes well. We're hoping everything goes well tonight. So come on, share. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and share real quick. Go ahead and share real quick. All right, y'all share real quick. We're coming in. Let them know we're on tonight. Connect with me online. Subscribe, Vic Phillips Podcast. If you're on YouTube, you're already there. But if you're on Facebook, subscribe to Vic Phillips Podcast on YouTube so you don't miss our show. All right, y'all. Listen, we got a great show tonight. I want you to do me a favor. I'm looking on YouTube and I'm looking on Facebook, making sure that our audience is sharing. So again, go right ahead and share real quick for me. Need everybody to go ahead and share. We're gonna have a good conversation tonight, talking about are you dating on your level? Are you dating on your level? All right. So I am ready to rock it out tonight. And I'm hoping that we've been having some technical difficulties and I haven't switched over yet to other provider for internet, which they're actually drilling some fiber in the yard right next door to me. So it's like right there. So I'm thinking that my connection would be probably super better if I connect with the other provider. So, all right, I'm giving y'all time to come on real quick and make sure everybody's on. We're going to have a great conversation tonight. I'm checking my outlets to make sure we're on. All right. I see we're on Facebook. All right. I see we're on Facebook. And I believe we're also on YouTube. I think our YouTube is looking well tonight as well. Yep. We're looking good on both YouTube and Facebook. All right. So again, if you're watching, please do me a favor. Go ahead and share this. Go ahead and share. We're going to have a great conversation tonight. All right. Let me do this real quick. So we're talking about tonight some very interesting conversation with, I think, is a very needed dialogue. Again, this is conversation where, hey, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna be real about it. Hold no punches back. All right, and so let's have that conversation tonight. I want to make sure everyone is ready and locked in. Cool. Let's go. We're talking about dating on your level. Now, many of you all know that we started this conversation a little bit 2 weeks ago. And so we're kind of trying to continue this conversation and move forward with it. But I posed some questions. I said, are you dating on your level? Too often people find themselves in relationships that don't align or fit with their values, their goals, and their lifestyles. So tonight we're going to dive deep into what it truly means to date within your level. When you talk about financially, emotionally, and spiritually. Are your standards realistic? We're going to have a conversation about that, because sometimes people don't have realistic standards. Or are you attracting what you bring? Are you attracting what you bring to the table? I mean, that's not a real unfiltered conversation, because I've heard people that say, well, I want this, I want that, but are you actually bringing that yourself to the table? We'll have these high expectations for someone, but we can't even live up to our own expectations. Y'all hear me? Are y'all hearing me out there? What people have high expectations for someone else, but in reality, they can't even live up to their own expectations. So let's talk about it. When we talk about dating on your level, let's define your level. I think having a clear definition of what is your level will give people more clear understanding about our topic tonight. What does it mean to really date on your level? Is it about finances? Is it about education, lifestyle, values, or something deeper? Should compatibility be prioritized over status? We'll talk about that. When we talk about that, I said, should compatibility be prioritized over status? Meaning, if dating on your level has to do with finances, so meaning that if I date someone, they have to be close to what I make, right? So if you're making 60, 80,000 a year, you want to date somebody within that same range. And so if that's what your level is to you, is that more important than compatibility? Because here it is. I believe, and some people believe that you can be compatible, but not necessarily compatible holistically, but not necessarily compatible in certain levels, in certain different statuses like finances or education. You maybe have a great relationship, but maybe this person has a master's and you have a GED, right? Doesn't mean that you're not compatible, but in terms of your level when it comes to education, there may be a higher level. Now, higher level education, because there's a degree, some will argue doesn't mean necessarily that you're the brightest in the room, because we know some people that have some high degrees, and you'd be like, man, what's going on up here? They got a degree, but something here ain't clicking right. So I know. So I want to talk to you. If you're watching on YouTube, put something in that chat. Put something there. Are you dating right now? So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, I see you Facebook. Are you dating right now? Now, some people may not be open enough to say this. All right, but if you are dating right now, do you feel that you are dating on your level? All right, do you feel that you're dating on your level? Now, it could be on your level, it could be above your level, or you can say, I'm dating below my level. What category do you find yourself in? And do you feel that this whole conversation and this whole concept of level is important for a successful relationship? Is that important to you? Is that important to you for a successful relationship? Do you feel that, yeah, I have to have someone that is on my level, close to my level, or you're like, hey, I don't care what level they're on. I'm just more concerned about compatibility. Is that you? If you're watching on Facebook right now, if you're watching on YouTube right now, let me see your comments. The first response I need, are you dating? Let's talk about that. Are you dating or are you married? Now, that's a whole nother conversation. If you say, hey, I'm married and I married somebody not on my level, well, that's an interesting conversation, because you probably should have known that before you said I do. Am I right? Before you said I do, you probably should have known if this person is already on your level. Now, again, some people are not gun-ho and are not tied down with this on my level. You're like, hey, if we love each other, we love each other. If I make more, that's okay. If I make less, that's okay. We have this great relationship, and so we don't even look at it as a level thing. But do you feel, especially now, if you're a man watching on YouTube, on Facebook, and what do you feel as a man? Do you feel that when you date, that you should be on her level or above her level? I don't want to ask this question and say, do you feel that you should be below her level? I don't know if that's if that's a question to even ask, right? But do you feel that as a man, if you're watching, that you should be on or above her level? And as a woman, do you seek a man that is above your level? If you're a woman watching, let me hear from you on YouTube and Facebook. If you're a woman watching, let me hear from you. Do you seek a man that is on your level or above your level? I don't know if you want to say below, but See, some people may say it, but what do you feel? How do you feel about that? If you are dating right now, as a woman, do you expect that man to be above your level or at your level? I want to hear from you. Those that are watching on YouTube, those that are watching on Facebook, I want to hear from you. Do you expect that man to be above? I'm not going to say below, because I hope that's not the expectation, right? Do you expect that man to be above or below your, or at your level? Sorry. I'm actually looking. If you see me looking over here, I'm looking at Facebook and YouTube to see if there is some comments, so then I can go ahead and address those comments in the as we're talking tonight. Now, I want to deal with about this above and on your level. Let's talk about that. One of the things I mentioned was, when we talk about defining your level, is finances. Now, do you feel that financial stability matters in dating? I want to hear from you. Do you feel, those that are watching tonight, do you feel that the financial stability actually matters when you're dating? Now, I want to hear from both genders, because sometimes a woman may have a very different perspective as a man, right? A man may not put so much emphasis on the woman's financial stability versus a woman. You know how it is. Women be like, yeah, he got to have this. So much pressure on us, isn't it right? And then sometimes that same pressure is not put on the woman. That same expectation is not put on the woman. And so I want to hear from you. If you're a woman, do you have an expectation that the man that you're dating, that you're pursuing, that you want to have a long-term relationship with, that you eventually want to marry, do you feel that he must be financially stable? If he's not financially stable, do you even date him? If he's not financially stable, do you even give him a chance to take you out? Right? Now, some of you say, well, how do I know? I mean, you get some hints before you go on a date if they're kind of financially stable, if they got something, right? Something to offer in terms of some level of finances. But what do you say? I want to hear from you. If you're a woman watching right now, do you feel that that man has to have some level of financial stability before you even consider going out with them, consider going on a date with them? Do you feel like, hey, he got to have it together? And I want to hear from you again, those that are watching right now, because I want to hear your perspective, because we all have very different perspectives when it comes to dating, and not just perspectives, but we also have very different expectations as well. We all do. Also, should both parties contribute equally? Do you feel that way? Like, when you talk in terms of dating, some people, when they date, they say that, hey, we're going to go out, we're going to do, I'll pay one time, you pay it next time, or you pay for your meal, I'll pay for my meal. Should both partners contribute equally, or is balance more important? Right? So I want to talk about that too, because let's discuss that, because some people, again, are, especially in the world we're living in now, women make as much money as men. Sometimes, arguably, sometimes in certain situations, women make even more. I believe that in the Black community, women are one of the more higher earners, I believe now, or trending in the next couple of years to be the higher, or making more than the Black man. So when you look at that, is that important to you, right? Should the man do all the contributing, or should we kind of equally do that? Or how do financial expectations impact relationships? That's another conversation. So when you're dating, sometimes you don't talk about these things, right? Because it's like, well, I'm just getting to know you. But it's something that's going to come up down the road when you talk about financial expectations and how that impact relationships, because you have two different people here with perhaps two different ideologies as it relates, right? As it relates to dating, as it relates to finances, right? And so do you feel that conversation need to be early on in dating? Like, what is your financial expectations? Because if you don't talk about it a little earlier in the process, you get to like the person, and then you find out that, hey, wait a minute, he has a whole different setup how he want to do this thing. Like, we're going out to eat, and he like, okay, you're paying. And okay. I didn't know I was paying. His expectation was, well, I paid last time. Well, if you don't have those clear expectations, because he may be one of the people that was like, hey, we're going to do this 50-50 thing, or, I pay one time, you pay another time. Nobody's keeping tabs, but it almost sounds like somebody's keeping tabs for real life. I paid last time. No, you paying this time. So when you talk about these various different things, I think it's important that we understand that people have financial expectations, and when you don't know their financial expectation, it can definitely impact the relationship. It can. It can. I see you, April. You said, You said it about some minutes ago. Mr. Shear said, the way I approach it wouldn't matter what level she's on, as long as she's willing to grow and learn from each other. Sometimes we categorize people or things based off of society perception, and that is so important. I mean, that not just important, but that is so spot on. A lot of times people are basing things off of what society says it should look like. And the truth of the matter is, it's probably what works for your relationship. Because it's one thing to say, as a woman, yeah, I want to date a man that's above my level. Well, you're going to have to clearly define what's above your level. Like, if you're talking about finances, okay. So if you're talking about finances and you as a woman say, hey, I make $70,000 a year. This woman comes in and says, hey, I make $70,000 a year. And she says to this man I'm dating, but she's dating, hey, listen, if you're not doing about $80,000, $90,000 a year, I don't even want to talk to you. Now, sometimes people are not that blunt, and they won't say that. But when you don't get a call back, when she ain't interested, that's probably kind of like her mindset, because I feel that sometimes people, and I'm not going to say women, but if a woman comes on the scene and she's making X amount of dollars, she may say, in her mind, she may say, I want to date up somebody that's above my level. And above her level doesn't necessarily always mean finances, but a lot of times it does mean finances. Come on, women, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Do you feel that your man should make more money than you? Where are you? Let's talk. I see y'all watching. I see you watching. Let's talk. Do your man have to make more money than you? Come on. I want to hear from you. The sisters, I'm calling the sisters out tonight. Sisters, do your man need to make more money than you for him to be considered a candidate, one, to date you, a candidate to be in a relationship with you, and especially a candidate to be a husband? Do he have to make a little bit more money than you? What do you say? I want to hear from you. Put your comments in the chat. Put your comments right now. I want to hear from you what you're saying, what you say about that. Because finances is a big part of one of the bigger parts why actually couples divorce is because of some financial difficulties. So finances cannot be. You have to have a mature conversation when you're dealing with this, because hey, it's important. People's livelihood is at stake here. If your finances is not right, it's almost a matter of life and death. If finances is not right, where you gonna live? What are you gonna do? How you gonna eat? All those things are so important, and I think sometimes people are afraid to bring it up in the dating phase. No, sister, brother, you gotta talk about it. So women, where are you? Let me check my comments. Maybe I'm missing some comments, but women, if you're dating, do he have to make more than you? All right. I see. Yep. I see someone say yes. Ideally, yeah. He's gonna have to make more than me. Yeah. So that's one. That's one lady. He says yes. He's gonna. Ideally, I want somebody to make. I want the man to make more than me. Okay. Where at? Somebody else. Brothers, if you're watching, if you're a man, you're watching. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that there's a lot of pressure on you to be able to say, hey, I have to come in this relationship and be the breadwinner? Is that a lot of pressure? Or when you look at certain women's salary, what if your salary is not there, but you really like this woman, right? would you be able to give it your all in a relationship, or would it be in the back of your mind that I know this woman wants somebody that's making more and I just can't give her that, but I really like her. I mean, I really want to be with her. I think that she's a great candidate for me in my life, but I'm not there financially. And if a woman says, "Hey, I want him to make more," is that a man? Men, talk to me. Is that a turn off to you? Like, nah, man. She seems kind of like she's kind of digging for some gold or something. I don't necessarily think that if a woman has that expectation that she's digging for gold, she's not no gold digger way over town that digs on you. No, 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 she's not. It's part of her expectation. Some people have to say, if I get into this relationship, can we survive as a unit? Or is all again? There's a lot of women that are doing well, with income, right? But if you got more in the family, more people in the family, it's probably going to take most households take two incomes. Most households take two incomes to survive in America. Is this what it is? We got a sister here says I'm a breadwinner myself, and to me, it doesn't matter. We help and build each other. All right, so it's it. So my point exactly. So here's a woman that says, "Hey, I'm the breadwinner. I make more, but it doesn't matter because we are a team, we are a unit, and we're going to build together. And we're going to because at the end of the day, what's more important is us building together and our compatibility, our holistic compatibility, not just the one area where perhaps maybe one or the other lacks in. Not, I want to say lack. I don't want to say lack, but maybe they're not where they want to be, or maybe they're not where society, like my brother said earlier, what society says they should be at. So I like that. So yeah, I'm the breadwinner myself. I'm a woman, but it doesn't matter because we work together and we build together. I like that. And so it says it's important for men to be able to provide and contribute as long as both are working together. A man does not have to make more than more than a woman. Yeah. Hey, here's another one. As long as we're working together, we're both doing something, it's okay. Now she's like, I bet Angela, you're like, I'm not gonna sit around and I'm doing all the work and you're not doing nothing. You're not gonna be chilling, chilling on the game system all day. And you're not going to be dropping me off at work while I get the finances. And you're like, yeah, I'm working on something, baby. I'm working on something. You ain't working on nothing. Nothing. No, I get you. Yeah. So it says as long as we're working together. Now, men. There's some men on here. I think there's a couple. How do you feel about your woman making more? Does it make you feel a little... not manly? Or are we past that? Or is that back in the day? Do you feel like, man, my woman making more, I feel some type of way? Now listen, if your woman making more, one, I think, I know, you should never, not just your woman, but anybody, you should never be envious or jealous of anyone that is performing better, making more, whatever you want to call it. I totally disagree with that. So there's couples that men and women, I don't get it, but I've heard women being envious of their man making a lot. And I've heard, and I mostly hear though, of men being envious of their woman making more. They've been envious, they feel some type of way, they got an attitude. I mean, man, listen, if you are mad because she's making more, go get another job then and make some more. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If you're really that mad that your woman is making more than you, find you a second, third job so then your income could equate to hers or be more than. If you're that mad, then hey, bring something positive out of it. Make some more money. But here's the thing: if she does, she does. I mean, hey, but I still have an old school about me. Like, yeah, she does. For me, like if she makes more, I'm gonna celebrate her and be happy for her. But me, I'm gonna try to help and bring some little bit more in there. Like, because I don't want that weight. Again, I'm a little old school values. I feel that she's the helpmate. So like, hey, She here's to help. She's here to help me, but I don't want to put all the load on her because she does make all of the money. No, like you said earlier, in the comments, we're gonna have to work together and build this thing up. Um, There's another woman. I'm usually the higher income and single now. It seems like men are intimidated by women who makes. I said, yeah, I've heard it. Like men will get intimidated by some of y'all women though. When you make more, you let it be known that you make more. You let it be known. I seen a movie not too long ago. She like, this is my house, so you can go. They was married. No, they were married. This is my house. This is my money. So you can go. So you can go. I'm like, see. And that man ended up killing her at the end. That's so horrible. I'm not condoning that now. It's just a movie, y'all. It's just a movie. All right. But he had a plan. He said, "Oh, you making all this money? Guess what? When you die, I get the money." So he took her out. Yep, took her out and spent the money with his side chick. Gots to be more careful. Men, are you here? Let me hear from you. Would you be intimidated? Now, you probably gonna say it on Facebook. You can say, nah, I ain't intimidated. She could make more than me. You probably won't admit to it. But would you feel some type of way she made more? Would you wanna, get another job and say, you know what? Let me try to catch up with my baby here. She's at $100,000 a year, and I'm at 30. Let me catch up. Let me get 3 more jobs and catch up with that 100. So then our whole household be at 200. All right, y'all. So that finances is one. Here's another one: emotional and mental maturity. The question is like, are you emotionally available and mature for the kind of partner you desire? Because we often say, I want this, I want that. But again, expectations. We expect all this from our partner, but can you expect what you expect? Can you be what you expect? Huh? Can you be what you expect from the other person? He got to have this, he got to have that. Do you have that? Or here's another one. Have you dealt with your past traumas that is affecting your dating right now, right? Some people have some past traumas that they're still dealing with, right? And so we talk about dating on your level. If you're looking for a certain person that is at a certain caliber, but you're still struggling with your past and your past traumas, again, expectation, you say, hey, this is what I want. But if you're not giving it, but some people, when we talk about dating on your level, you also got to date on your level, not just financially, emotionally, and mentally. I mean, how those that's watching, have you ever felt like irritated because it felt like you were the genius in the relationship, and you're like, my goodness, I'm dealing with the 2-year-old here. I don't know, like they're like slow, they're not catching on, and you get irritated about it. You're not catching on. I mean, you ever date somebody like, man, it seems like they're still in 3rd grade. What? That's all a part of dating on your level. So it's not just finances. It's like when you're talking about dating somebody with the same type of mindset as you. Like you're like, why do I feel like I'm raising somebody's child? Have you been in that category before? Now, some of y'all been the child. Don't be acting like you always the parent in that category. No, some of y'all probably on here been the child, and he's probably thinking, or she thinking, like, I'm really raising somebody's child right now. But yeah, mentally and emotionally, that's level 2. When we talk about on your level, not just finances, the mental and emotional side. First, you have to date you. Would you date you? Good question. I like that. I've said that before. That's another thing. Like, would you date you? Would you marry you? Because you know you. Can I get a witness? This is not a church podcast, y'all. So I'll let you know that. Not church. I'm Victor. I'm this big. But would you date you? Would you date you? That's a great conversation. A great thing to look at it when you talk about on your level, because if you feel so when you date you already know your level. I like that. You know your level, and so you know what to expect. What are you expecting from this person, and so forth. She said, and I can't raise nobody's son. Yes, and a lot of women find themselves raising somebody's son because somebody's son still have not matriculated over into manhood, even though they have the age of a man, but they don't have the mentality of a man. They have the age of a man, but they don't have the mentality of the man. And sometimes, a lot of women, they struggle and argue about this, and they are annoyed by this. They say, well, you're not ready to grow up. You're still chasing skirts. Do they say that? What do they say? They don't say chasing skirts no more. What do they say? You still for the streets. Is that what it is? You still out here for the streets. They don't say chasing skirts no more. They say you still out here for the streets. And so you feel like, man, I'm raising a man or I'm raising a boy because he hasn't found out the importance of relationship and committed relationship. He's still for the streets. Now, is that a maturity thing? Yeah. But it also could be something else. Maybe, that people always say, you want your cake and eat it too. You want your cake and you want me, but you also want her over there. Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. And you say, well, I feel like I'm raising somebody's son, or they're not ready for a committed relationship, so they're not mature enough for that relationship. Yes, maybe they're not mature enough for the relationship, or maybe you're not the one for them. And you say, well, if I'm not the one for them, why are they still with me? Well, because you are a placeholder. Crickets. I need some sound effects. Crickets. Maybe you're a placeholder. So I like you, but I could do better. But I don't want to leave you because I have this thing where I don't want to be alone. I want to, I don't want to be alone, and I need 7:33 p.m. Okay, thank you. My watch just told me what time it was. All right, thank you. So some men, mature, but maybe they just don't. Maybe they are for the street still, but maybe like I say, maybe you're a placeholder. Like, hey, you know what? I just I like you, but I could probably find better, and so I'm gonna stay with you, especially if you're providing housing. If you are providing housing for him, he's going to probably stay with you for a little bit until you find somebody else that can provide some housing. And then, he'll like, I think we're done here. I think our relationship has taken its course, and I'm just going to leave. We've been arguing a lot lately, and it's not you, baby. I just need to get me together. As soon as he get him together, in the next 10 seconds, in the next 10 minutes, he's gonna go over to Shanae's house and move in with her, And so it may not be a mature on your level of maturity. It could be just hey, he just don't really want you, and you're a placeholder until you find some other lodging. He needs somewhere else to lodge, and you allowed him to do it. Not saying you. I'm not talking to anybody particular. If that's your situation, I don't know your situation. But when you allow them to do it, they will do it. They will do it. All right. Dating on your level is not always finances. It has to also do with the mentality of the person too as well. Another comment here says you have to learn to love yourself, and when you do that, you won't let anyone hurt you. Interesting. Love yourself, and when you do that, you won't let anyone hurt you. I like how that sounds, but I don't know if I agree wholly. I mean, I agree with it. I like how it sounds, but can't you love yourself and still get hurt? I don't know. Can you love yourself, Ebony, and still get hurt? Let's have a conversation. I like how it sounds, and I know what you mean. But you can love yourself and still get hurt, I think. But you know what? I don't know. My mind is finite. So I could be wrong here. Let's talk about the other one when we talk about dating on your level. I want to ask this question though before I move on. Can someone grow into your level? So maybe right now they're not where you may want them at, but can they grow into your level? And is that an option? Like are some of y'all just like, if you're not at my level or above, I'm not even giving you the time of day? Or do you say, well, you're not at my level, but let's see how this goes? Have you ever dated somebody who felt like they're not at my level, but we're gonna see how it goes? We're gonna see if they have potential here. Do you even have time for potential? Do you have time to like really wait for them to get on your level? Let's talk about that. Do you have time for them to really wait to wait on them to get to your level? Some folks like, hey, I don't have time. I don't have time for you to get to my level, especially when you get a certain age. Now, you get a certain age, you're like, listen, I don't get time for this. Like certain things you expect them to come with. Come on, let's talk about it, y'all. If you're over a certain age, you expect certain things. Like, I don't get, well, I still see things, and I'm hoping that this is only for folks that are like 19, 20 years old, where I see things on social media and they're like, yeah, I can't even come over his house. He's always over my house. I can't even come over to his house because he don't have a house. Like if you're at the age where you're about to get married and he doesn't have a place to live, I don't think that he needs to be dating. I'm not the expert here. I don't think you need to be dating. You need to be working. I don't know. I think you don't need to be dating nobody. You need to be working. You need to be working. Like, and I think that's important because you don't want to come in and bring this mess, kind of mess into somebody else's lifestyle. This kind of weight, like, hey, women be like, hey, don't come and disturb my peace. I was fine the way now, let me stop here. Y'all wasn't fine the way you were. You wanted a man. I'm fine. You know you wasn't. You know you wasn't. That's why you gave him a chance, because you wanted a man. You disturbing my peace. Nah. He ain't disturbed your peace. He may give you a piece, but he ain't disturb your peace. No. You don't let nobody disturb your peace. You don't let nobody disturb your peace. All right, let me get some comments in here. Some more comments. Yes, everyone has the potential to grow, but they should be displaying that, yes, through actions. Yeah, not just talking. When people people talk a good game. Oh yeah. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Oh, just watch. Yeah, oh yeah. And they say, well, give me your plan. What's your plan? Yeah, I got plans. What's your plan? No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. What's your plans? People keep on saying, you know. You ask them a question, they say, you know. No, I don't. Because if I did know, why would I be asking what's your plans? Maybe you don't even know. And if you don't, not knocking you, hold off perhaps, maybe on dating. Just my thought. If you don't know, men and women, if you don't know, hold off. Another one, my book, The Queen in Me, is on Amazon right now. Evan, you put your little plug in there. No, that's cool with me. I have no problem with that at all. The Queen in Me. That's on Amazon right now. Now listen, you're going to have to pay me for some sponsorship. The Queen in Me is on Amazon right now. And you know what? I'll make sure to purchase a book. All right? I'm going to purchase a book, The Queen in Me, on Amazon right now. Because soon as I get me a little book or something, I want you to purchase mine too. Now, I have one, but that's not on Amazon. This was years ago. I may revise that book and put it on Amazon. Yeah. It's called Virtuous Women Rock. Virtuous Women Rock. Yeah. Another comment was, women go on potential all the time. Women go on, oh, really? Y'all do? Huh. Do you think men go on potential? I've seen it where I feel that, I do feel sometimes when I've seen certain scenarios where I feel that women do go on potential. I've seen that before. Do y'all think men go on potential too? Good comment on that. I like that. Let's talk about that. Do men go on potential? Huh. Next one. We're gonna go to our next one. When we talk about dating, we talk about finances, mental, spiritual. Do you feel that faith should play a part of it? No, I have a in the comments. I know some of these people in the comments, and I know some of you are very faith filled people. Your value is faith, and some may not be. I don't know because I don't know these days because everybody claims Christ, so I don't know. Some claim them, some don't claim them, some I don't know. But do you think that your spiritual values should be a part when you talk about dating on your level, right? Should I be, kind of at the same spiritual? Because what happens is that when you have one person that is like, on a big spiritual journey, they have a relationship with God. Perhaps maybe they go to church regularly, and then you have the other person that's like, "Oh, I believe in God. Oh, I believe in Him." Do you go to church? No, I don't. You don't gotta go to church. You don't gotta go to church. People be so quick to say that. You don't gotta go to church. You don't gotta. What is it? Is church that dreadful? Is going to church that dread? Is going to church gonna mess up your whole weekly routine? Like, are you that sleepy on Sunday or Saturday? If you go on Saturday, are you that tired where? You don't gotta go to church to have a relationship with. I believe you don't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. Do I believe that? It's a gray area. It's a gray area because I feel it's a gray area. I feel that if you had a relationship with God and God instituted the church, that you would want to be a part of the church. Like God created this whole idea of church. He created this whole idea of believers gathering together, teaching, preaching, singing, worshiping, fellowshipping, breaking the bread. He created this whole idea. So I believe in God. I love God, but I don't want to be a part of this God idea. Ooh, that's the whole teaching thing. And I'm not here to do that. Okay, I'm not here to do that. But when people say that, it's like, well, I get it. Yeah, you can have a relationship. Your relationship is deeper than going to church. Yes, it should be. But if God created this whole idea and concept, and even if Jesus, his son, went to church regularly, to the gathering regularly on the Sabbath, because back then it was under the law, they went on the Sabbath, and he would go regularly to the synagogues every week. If Jesus would go, that had no sin, but you and us with all the sin, say, you don't gotta do that. All right, I'm getting my soapbox. Never mind. I want to mess up. I want to irritate nobody on this podcast tonight, but it makes me wonder, though. It makes me wonder. Okay. Yeah, spiritual is huge. Evenly yoked is important. Yeah. Okay. Evenly. Yeah, I like the evenly yoked. Some say equally, but I like evenly yoked too as well. And it says, and then here's a brother. Most definitely, we go off potential. I think it's a two-way thing due to the fact I believe no one really invests into anything if they don't see value in it. I love it. Yes, and I do agree there too. I do think that men do go off potential because anybody remember God rest his soul, Kevin Samuels. Anybody remember Kevin Samuels? Kevin Samuels, the women didn't, oh my goodness, most women did not like Kevin Samuels. Because Kevin Samuels made women feel that they wasn't all just the prize, that the man is a prize too as well. Because a lot of times women, I'm the prize. And Kevin Samuels had this whole, his whole thing was surrounded around high value men. Meaning that, and his definition was based on a man with finances, right? If a man consecutively for 3 years or more make over six figures, he's considered a high value man. And Kevin Samuel's theory was that if he's a high value man, he's not going to be attracted or want any type of woman. So when you talk about, when we talk about that men also go off potential, which I do believe is true, I do believe that when we talk about what Kevin Samuels is talking about the high value man and some of their expectation, I think that the high value man, the way he was putting it was, he wanted this, and if they wasn't this way, I'm not looking at potential because I'm high value. I'm going to get what I want. If you're not what I want, I'm not going to look at you, right? And he also, his whole theory was, do you feel as a woman that you can even attract a high value man? Do you feel as a woman that you can even attract a high value man? Because again, if he's high value, he's going to have a certain level of expectation from his woman. So whole nother conversation there, maybe a whole nother podcast as well. Because Kevin Samuels opened up some ideologies that I think offended some people. He'll have women call his show, and women will say, "Hey, I'm this age," and he'll ask certain questions, and he'll say, "Oh, you're not going to get that type of man. You better find you somebody down the street." So he was really blunt with this presentation. So that's why a lot of people didn't like it. But it was something to think about. Equally yoked is more than just believing. Yes, it is. It's more than just believing in God. I agree with that, because if we go into Scripture, the Scripture says the devil believes in God. So, I believe in God. Oh yeah, okay. The devil believes in God too. Yeah. So who are you? Let's go. I got a couple more before we get out tonight. Where am I going at? So spiritual is very important, and not just spiritual, but also values. So that's a whole nother thing. Like, spiritual and values can be similar, but also can be different as well. It can be synonymous, and also it can be separate, because when you think about the value-based system, or value-based, I can be spiritual, believe in God, and so forth. But here's the thing. We have so many people that are spiritual, believe in God, but they have different values, right? We think about this whole political world that we're living in. Somebody could be spiritual, right? Believe in God, go to church every day. One person says, yeah, I believe that marriage should be between a man and a woman. Other person says, no, a marriage should be a man and a man and a man, or a woman and a woman. It should be based upon a man and a woman. You should be able to love who you want to love. Now two will argue that both are spiritual, but their value with traditional marriage is different. Is that important to you? So you say, hey, we're both spiritual, we both believe in God, but what if you're more on traditional marriage, and your person you're dating says, no, you can be with whoever you want to be with. Man on man, woman on woman. Does that stop the dating? Let's talk about it. Does that stop the dating if y'all have different views on marriage? Where one says, you know what? Man and a woman. Y'all both go to church, y'all both spiritual, but one says no, man and a woman, and the other one says, no, you can get married to whoever you want to get married to. What do you think? Would you say, let's cut it, time up? No, wait a minute, no. Is that a deal breaker if your spouse is for same-sex marriage? And y'all both go to church, both love God, but when you talk about values, right? Or maybe you're pro-life, and your spouse, she's a woman, she's like, this is my body, my choice. My body, my choice. No, ain't no pro-choice up in here. You are undercover Trumpster. You can be pro-choice and not be pro-Trump. So how does that look, right? Y'all both spiritual, but y'all have different views when it comes to traditional marriage. So she said, I'm not going to hell with nobody. All right, so I don't know what that means. And look, yes, that's an absolute deal breaker. Okay, that's good. And that's from a man. He's like, hey, I believe in man and woman, and she says the same. And this is the interesting part about it. Well, her belief or his belief is about if y'all together, then that person says, hey, I want to be with a man, or I want to be with you, I want to be with a woman, right? But because they believe that a man could be another man and a woman could be another woman, you would say no, even though y'all together, like that other relationship has nothing to do with your relationship, but that still would be a deal breaker. Am I getting this right? Because they feel that is okay, that'll be a deal breaker, even though that doesn't necessarily directly impact you. Because again, people say I'm spiritual, People say, I believe in God. People say, I love God. But some people have different values systems. So where some people say, hey, I'm not traditional marriage. I don't believe in traditional marriage. I believe you can marry who you want to marry. You can be pro-life, pro-choice, whatever you want to do. I believe in that. Would that be a deal breaker? Then that means you're not equally yoked. Okay, Ebony, I'm going to try you. I'm going to argue with you. No, I'm playing. I used to some years ago, but I don't do too much arguing on Facebook no more. And I'm not arguing in a bad way. I'm always playing. I will play devil's advocate. So that means you're not equally yoked. Does that? Because so when you say equally yoked or evenly yoked, does that mean we have to agree on everything? Or are you saying it because if it's biblical, we then should be biblically aligned? Doesn't mean that just because you don't like cheese and I like it, that we're not equally yoked. I'm saying cheese, something very minute, I know. But let's say, let me see. Well, let's say a candidate, right? So maybe, say for example, y'all dating, and he says, "Hey, I voted for Trump." Does that mean we're not equally yoked? Because you voted for the other person? Huh? Huh? Or should he not want to date you because you voted for Miss Harris? Or vice versa? Is that a deal breaker? Who you stand with politically? Again, we're talking about dating on your level. When you talk about these things, spiritual and values plays a part of it, right? So would that be a deal breaker? They said, yep, I was one of the ones that said, make America great again. Yep, that was me. That was me. That was me. No, if you're coming on, I want you to say, I want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm talking like, for an example, I'm not saying that was me. I didn't say that I voted for Make America Great Again. I want y'all to be saying, I knew it. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. I'm not saying I voted for Trump or Make America Great Again at all. I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying who I voted for or if I voted at all. All right. So that's my thing. So spiritual and values can walk hand in hand, but I also found out that it could be also separate too, because we can both be God-fearing, loving people, but have different value systems, or even like how you raise your family, right? Maybe your thing is, hey, they bad, smack them. And then his thing is, no, we don't smack. We talk it out. We have conversation. We say, hey, let's do a little quick timeout. Again, values. Right? Values. I see by my research and studies, opposites does not attract. Yeah, people say all the time, people say opposites attract. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm like that. I'm with you there too. Like I always say, they may attract, but they eventually will attack. Because when you're so opposite, you're going to be butting heads at some point. You're really that opposite. You're going to butt heads a lot probably because you have different ideologies, different belief systems, all those different things. You're going to start butting heads. And I think, opposite is not necessarily about the physical, right? You can be black and white. You can marry somebody white, marry somebody black. No, it's about the mental, right? It's about that mental part. All right, I got to go to my next one. My next one is the setting. Are we settling or we just these are my standards? I want to talk about settling versus standards. Are high standards keeping people single? Are high standards keeping people single? Now, I'm one to believe that whatever your standards are, that's what they are. People say, oh, that's just too high. Well, it's my standard. You meet it or you don't. I mean, that's just my standard. Like, what if, I think most people's standards are, from what I've experienced, is not necessarily that high. I think a lot of standards are just what people should be doing. It's just like some of the natural things you should be doing, not necessarily high. It's just just what you should be doing, right? But are some people's standards too high, which keeps them single? And for some people say, well, it's not too high, but I just don't want to settle. And I think whatever your standards are, whatever your expectations are, is yours. I don't know if people really can say it's too high. I don't think they can. I think whatever you put as what you're looking for, your expectations, is you can't judge somebody else's expectations unless it's something really, I mean, if it's something that is, you know, outrageously crazy or discriminatory or hurtful or things like that. Yeah, I don't even call those expectations. That's just being hurtful or just being, weird or something. But if it's your standards, hey, if it's yours, it's yours. You said it, right? And so if they are kind of out the way and you're single, maybe you need to adjust those standards. I don't know. Got a comment here. I think that ties into their value. It does. When we get into deep conversations and learn how a person thinks, then in a sense you learn who they really are. Yeah, I agree. That's why I think spiritual and values walk hand in hand. But I think sometimes it separates, and some people actually separate it. And when they separate it, it can cause for some huge discussions and some people not flowing in the same direction, because we both can love God, but our some of our values are a little. Why your value is different like that? And I thought we was on the same page here, so I agree. Your standards will allow you not to waste time on the wrong person, and it does. I mean, so if your standards are, and I mean, listen, I believe you should be very concise with what you want. I'm looking for a woman that is smart, intelligent, funny, sense of humor. She's this size. I like her. I like this size. I like this complexion. I like. She gotta have. I prefer long hair, or I prefer short hair. I prefer a small body. I prefer the wide body. I like some hips. I like no hips. I like up and down. I like Taylor Swift up and down. Whatever you like. Whatever you like is what you like, is what your expectations are. And I mentioned some natural things, because here's the thing. A lot of times when you're dating, you're about to date, you don't know them internally. You don't even know what you see. So the first thing you see is what you know. You don't know them unless you've been around them for a while, right? But if you have not been around them, and like somebody that you just kind of like just ran into, and something about them, got your attention. Yeah, the first thing that gets your attention is how they look, their presentation, how they talk, how they articulate, how they move. That's the first thing. So that's part of your list of what you're looking for. I mean, all those things, gotta have this, gotta have that, gotta have their own place, gotta have their own car. And you say stuff like that, like own place, own car. Those things you say, hey, that's something that you should have. Well, not everybody has it, right? And so you got to be very intentional with what you're looking for. Again, like education, personality, spirituality, body type. You gotta smell good. You can't stink. No stank attitude. Maybe a little comedy there, but you gotta be very particular, because there are some men that stink, and that stink. Like that stink, and there are some women that stink, and you have to be like, you know what, you're a great person, but I don't know if I can deal with that stink for the rest of my life, and so I'm gonna pop the balloon on you, because it's real, right? It's real. It's not just stank attitude, but like bodily stank, and it's crazy, because you think, I don't need to put that on the list. You don't have to, but that is part of your standards. Good hygiene. I would hope it to be part of your standards. Good hygiene. Yeah. I don't know why he don't touch me. Listen. I've literally talked to a pastor that he said I counseled a couple couples, and he said about 2 or 3 couples in his church, and this was probably, I was in my early 30s, I believe. He said 2 or 3 couples in his church was not being sexually active. And he said, those 2 or 3 couples, he said, you know why? He said, because the man would complain that his wife did not smell good. He says, I don't want to touch her. And so he wouldn't touch her. He'd just go into the bathroom and watch porn on his phone. Y'all, no lie. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah, I think he was sharing this with me because he's like, you're going to hear various different conversations with married couples in terms of their sexuality and why they don't do certain things. And because he did not like how she smelled, he would go in the bathroom and watch his phone and get his release that way because the woman on the phone, he can't smell her. I'm sorry. I'm not making this up. I'm not. But he can't smell her. He can't. She may stink too, but he don't know because she's on the phone. All right. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Paula. Very real and true conversation here. And you know what? Yes, we need that. The very real. I'm just trying. I'm trying to help somebody, fellas. You need to wash up too, and the women need to wash. I'm just telling you, this is stuff that happens, and people don't want to have these real conversations because you don't want to tell the person you with that they stank. Okay. All right. All right. I'm closing. I'm closing. I want to ask this for self-reflection today. Are you on the level you expect? And you kind of said it earlier, Ebony, and you didn't know my notes here, but are you on the level that you expect? A lot of times we have these high expectations, and you got to ask yourself, are you on that level yourself? How do you expect someone to come at this level and you're not on that level? Do people expect a partner they're not prepared to match? Right? I'm going to say it again. Do people expect a partner they're not prepared to match? Like, it sounds good. He got to have this, he got to have that. What do you have? What do you have? Huh? Is it all on him? No. You bring something uniquely and different and needed to the table. You do. Are you growing into the best version of yourself before seeking a high level relationship? It may be cute and popular and part of the fad to have this black love or this relationship goes. Well, are you growing to the best version of yourself? And then lastly, how do you elevate yourself before expecting more from a partner? How do you elevate yourself? You want somebody on your level or above your level. Well, if your level is low, then the bar is set low. Say it again. If your level is low, then it's probably easy for that person to be at your level or above your level if your level is low. So if your level is low and you want somebody above your level, ain't gonna take that much. Think about it. If your level is low and you want somebody above your level, they don't have to do much because your level is low. But if your level is somewhat high and you want somebody at your level or above, now you're going to be expecting something great in your life because you're already at a great level yourself. So I asked a question earlier. If you're a man, does she have to be at your level as a man? Or do you feel you have to be above her level as a man? Yeah. A lot of pressure sometimes is put on the man, and that's okay. We're men. We're supposed to take that heat and say, you got to be above my level. But when your level and your bar is set so low, it don't take him that much to be above your level. And then guess what? You still find yourself in a crappy relationship because your level was never at a good level itself, and so you are really receiving bare minimum because your level was at minimum. But you shouldn't expect bare minimum, and you definitely don't deserve bare minimum. So elevate yourself, and then so when he comes above your level, yeah, you got somebody there. But if your level's low and he's above it, there ain't too much to celebrate about. Hey, y'all, that's my time. I'm like 5 minutes over, but we had a great conversation tonight. I'm here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I'm about to say Saturday. I don't know why. I'm here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. If you want to have this real conversation about relationships, let's have it. Speaking of which, it's funny because I'm having this podcast about relationships, and this is the new in March next week. I'm diving into relationship conversation at the church, and the real conversation that you heard tonight It's some real stuff that you're going to hear at church too. This podcast is not a church podcast, but because I'm over the podcast, I can shout the church out. And I will be dealing with the same, very similar conversations starting in the month of March. The new series called Pop the Balloon or Find Love. You heard about that show, Pop the Balloon or Find Love. And I started relationship teaching last year, but could not finish it. And so we're kind of finishing that teaching. And this coming Sunday, we're dealing with the topic of till death do us part. Sorry. Till death do us part or divorce do us part. Yeah, great conversation, great teaching at the Serve Church this Sunday at 11 a.m. So, hey, if you're in Cincinnati, come holler at us, come check us out. I pray that you'll be blessed by it. That's my time. I'm out till next Tuesday at 7 p.m. I'll see y'all.